What do you think about reparations?
Well, honestly, I feel like the only way that they would roll it out would be they would do it through digital currency, if anything, to where it could be controlled. And it's already something they want to roll out, but they won't roll it out unless it's through our community first, because we always gonna be the ones that they gotta teach and learn, you know, get on board with everything. So if they ever did it, that's how they would do it. And it wouldn't be I feel like it wouldn't be something to where to be like transferable, like meaning I don't believe they'll make it to a point where you can pass it down. It'll be tons of stipulations to it. Like that's how I look at it. But outside of that, I don't think that we will ever get it,
Right.
because of the fact of where we are as a status as a community as Black people. You know what I mean? So, I've seen on my TikTok, everybody kept saying, well, we won't get it because we not a nationality. Black is not a nationality, and everybody's not descendants of slaves, and yada, yada, yada. And so all of those points are valid. They very valid. But I just feel like it's deeper than that. I just feel like we're never going to get it. We never going to get it. If we ain't gotten it by this time, I don't believe we going to get it. The way I see where we are right now, man, I believe that we don't, you know how they say in the Bible, being lost in the wilderness?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we are right now. Because when you think about it, we have no, I won't say no leadership, but we have no true leadership for our people anymore. We had it once upon a time, but right now, the people that's leading us, the people we look up to, are celebrities. They entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And, you can look from the adults. We got adults that's following behind young entertainers. They want to be like these young, these grown Black men. They want to be like the younger boys. And then you got grown Black women that's acting like the younger entertainer girls. And then the kids, I don't know what they got to look up for inspiration. But right now, man, we need some help. We in a tough position, and, especially with the way that the politics are going, the world economy, it's a lot that we don't know as a race, and I feel like when everything hit the fan, we gonna be the ones left in the dust if we don't snap our minds out of what we giving our attention to and things like that. That's why, like you said, I'm always making thought-provoking things. I'm not here to tell nobody what to do, but it all starts with thinking. If you change the way you think,
Right.
a lot of your situations and outcomes would be different. You know what I mean?
So I think we got our mind,
Right.
our society too busy trying to do what we see other people do and not reach within who you are as a person. People are not comfortable with who they are. And then we turn around and then now we're looking for reparations. If you had reparation, how happy would you be?
How happy would you be? And that's and that's another thought-provoking thing about the reparation. Sometimes I look through my comments, like I just read the comments just to see where people's minds are. Like, okay, let's entertain the idea that we do get it, right? Let's entertain that idea.
Right.
I can tell you right now, I ain't no psychic, but I can almost tell you if we got reparations tomorrow, niggas will just be doing nigga stuff.
Right. Wouldn't be no different. Would not be no different.
It wouldn't be no different. Like, and that's not a shot at saying like I don't care or, I talk bad about my own community. It's just I speak the truth about it because it's about bringing awareness to what's going on. It's no different than when people get income taxes, right?
That's my point.
Now, think about people get income tax every year. Some of these females getting $10,000, $12,000.
Right.
And after the money gone or before the money even comes, they'll sit and tell you about all this stuff they want to do. Like, I want to start a business. I want to do this. I want to do that. Then they get the 10 grand, 12 grand. With that kind of money at one time, it ain't much you can't do.
Right.
You know what I mean? But do they do it?
Nope. They don't.
You see a bunch of nice clothes. You see a bunch of, you know, seafood crab balls and
Right, cookout.
I had a video where I talk about where we could be self-sufficient as a culture, as a race of people,
Right.
through like I called it like a minority tax program, as where, like I said, there's 48 million working adults in America, 18 to and older, working.
Yeah, yeah.
If you took $2 every week from 40 million people, that's $80 million a week
That's right.
that could be generated. And you do that in a month, right?
Yeah.
And the cycle just continues. That's $320 million in a month, and so on and so forth and so forth. But in the same breath, them same $2, and I'm not saying all, but I just know a lot of us, they ain't gonna do it. They ain't gonna want to participate. They gonna want to understand where they getting their money back, and they don't trust other blacks. That's why you don't have a lot of black people with black banks.
Right.
It's just a thing within our community that we have to change. And it all starts with thought. And so that's why I always give people those options to think. We all got to die from something. I mean, I might as well keep doing. Man, you don't want to live for your kids, for your family. You don't want to live a healthier life. You don't want to feel better. You want to look better. Like, eating just is more than just gaining calories and weight. And it does what you ingest. It reflects in everything about you, your hair, your skin, like everything,
I have a buddy of mine that works for the airline. This is a little gross story, but he said that there was a lady that went to the restroom on the plane, and he said, "Man, when she came
like one or two, number one or two,
yeah." And he said when she came out of that restroom, it was horrible. He's like, "Man, it's like something died in the inside." I was like, "That is just." And then it's like, and I know everybody's not gonna get there at the same time. This sounds so horrible. I know everybody's not gonna get there at the same time, but gee, man, at least, like you said, think about the people that might have to be here for you because you didn't do what you were supposed to do.
Right. Right.
So you got family members be like, okay, so it might not be that you might not just leave here like that. You might be suffering, and I don't want, what I'm saying, but I get it. Everybody can't get there at the same time.
With my stepdad, right? He has type 2 diabetes, right? Mm-hmm. Now, that's a common disease in our community, especially type 2, because a lot of people don't know is type 2 diabetes. I wish they changed the name of it to what it really is. Really, type 2 diabetes should be called processed food disease.
I like that.
Because that's where it comes from. Mm-hmm. And it can be beat. But a lot of people don't have the knowledge of understanding how to beat it. You know what I'm saying? So like I try to educate him on it. He in and out the hospital a lot. Sugar high, sugar too low. Sugar high, sugar too low. He'll stay on the diet, a certain diet for 2-3 days. And then, man, I can't keep eating that, man. I'm still hungry. Listen, your body creates new blood every 90 days. If you can abstain or keep on a certain diet for 90 days, after 90 days, it'll become a habit, for one. So, 30 days, it'll become a habit. But 90 days, every 90 days, your body creates new blood. Your bone marrow makes new blood every 90 days. Right. So you're almost like a new person, as long as you're not filling it up with more toxins and more this and more carcinogens. And, you never stop it. But if you took a break from it, everything for 90 days, you will be a whole new person on the inside. That's right. Your organs will begin to heal themselves. Like, it's a lot that goes on with your blood. It's not, again, people look at everything from the surface. Right. It's like, it's just blood. But do you understand what's in blood? Do you understand how your other cells thrive and live because your blood carries oxygen in there. Your blood has all kinds of other minerals and things that your nutrients that your body needs. And so if that blood if it's contaminated with grease and cholesterol and all that stuff,
fructose,
what do you think is going to happen to the rest of your organs? They're going to fail.
Right.
Most like I can have 100,000 people like a video. If 5,000 or 200, let's say 200 people actually took something away from that video and changed, that's enough to start a wildfire. All it takes to start a wildfire is one match.
Yes, that's true. Yeah.
One match. So, it gets frustrating, and maybe you don't receive the message from me the way you'll receive the message from James that watched the video, or Rebecca watched the video and now she's translating the information to you. Maybe, but as long as the information gets out there and somebody ingests it, and that's enough for me. So that's the only way I keep from getting frustrated. Because I had COVID 5 times.
And it wasn't bad, was it?
The first 3 times, I had no idea I had it. Wow. So it was just, well, I take that back. Before they labeled it COVID, right? This was, I was in Chicago. This was like 2020. It was 2020, but it was before they labeled it COVID. Mm-hmm. I went up there to help a cousin move. And before I got there, she was telling me like, I don't know what's going on with me because I just feel real sick. I've been thinking about going to the hospital. So I'm like, well, I'm on the highway. I'll be there in the next 3 hours. So if you there, can you just, leave the key? That way I can just start packing up the truck, yada, yada, yada. So she goes to the hospital. She comes home. I'm like, so what they say? She like, well, they really didn't say. They just said it was kind of like the flu, or I kind of had like a mild case of pneumonia, but I feel like I feel horrible. So I pack her up. I come home. I get home, Alvin, I'm telling you, at first I thought I was dying. Right. And this is before, the scare of what, before they labeled it anything.
Okay.
And so, I just, I'm not a big medicine taker. You know what I'm saying? So I loaded up on zinc, and, my family, they deep in the South, and they Choctaw Indian, and so they got a lot of remedies and stuff. So I took no medication at that time. Okay. But 2 days later, I was back normal. After that, they labeled it COVID. I had it 5 times. The first 3 times, had no idea I had it. Just got tested because I was around somebody, and I'm like, well, it was already scary at that time. They was making it seem like if you caught it, it was just a death sentence. Right. So I'm like, well, I need to go to the hospital because, man, buddy had it, so I ain't feel like nothing, but I'm like, I just want to go make sure everything good. Right. Positive. So I'm like, damn. So they asking me all these questions, like, how do I feel and where was I at and all of this stuff. So I quarantine. I go get retested, negative, repeat over 2 more times, positive, same way. The last 2 times I didn't know I had it that one time was because my taste and smell went away. Okay. And I thought I was tripping, but that was it. I wasn't sick feeling. I wasn't running a fever. Right. I was perfectly fine. I think I went and hooped that day. I think I went and played ball that day. I got up and it didn't hit me that I wasn't tasting anything until we went and played ball, and I went to drink my Gatorade, and it's one of my favorite Gatorades, the green apple one. And man, it just was like water. And I'm like, man, I'm not tasting anything. And the same with the smell. I couldn't smell. And that lasted for like a month. Wow. So, the thing with the shot, like my mom got the shot. The next day after her shot, she got rushed to the hospital, passed out, hyperventilating.
What?
Yeah. She got it one day, and the next day, we had to call 911 for her because she passed out and was hyperventilating. She couldn't breathe. And mind you, she never had COVID. She never had it. But, you know, she's older, so she just took the shot. And, yeah, I was cool on that since that day.
You know, one of the things that stands out to me when you start talking about God and spirituality and religion, I mean, it's like, why would you believe that God will hurt me because I don't do a certain thing? You know what I'm saying? It's like a scare tactic. I mean, this is God.
It is.
It's not going to do nothing to hurt me. Now, I'll be taught. Now, I might can do something like my car drives 160 miles an hour and I just stomp it myself. That's me hurting myself. It's not necessarily saying God said, Alvin, don't drive that car 160 miles an hour.
Or
you do,
God said that was your day to go that day. No, I did that. I did that.
Yeah, I did 160 miles an hour coming down. Then I'm going to say, well, God took me away. No, I if you got free will and your will is to drive 160 miles an hour on a bit, that's your will to suffer the consequences behind what happened. But sometimes people give God such a bad name. I was like, y'all, if I was God, I'd be like, look, Nick, you know, you need to stop. Don't be using me like that. I didn't tell you.
Yeah, that wasn't me. That wasn't me, dog.
Right.
But you know, just, you know, I don't want to dive too much into it, but, you know, just to give you an insight of pretty much where I'm going with that series, you know, the whole phrase, which was sparked it, you know, the synopsis for me was if you were, the book says we're made in his image and his likeness, right?
Right.
Nobody deciphers those two words or sees them differently. Nor does anybody think about the concept of Old English speech and what, you know, image and likeness means, right? So not just people are made in I'm going to say its image and likeness, but everything. So if you see a dog, a cat, a bird, a fish, a goat, a tree, anything that's alive is in its image and in its likeness, meaning like it, like you. So we're not duplicates, we're replicas. So a replica, you know what a replica is? A replica looks real. It operates the same. It does all the things. It's just not the original stamped, you know, the original thing. And we are that. Like I tell people all the time, you are the God that you pray to.
Say this, when you hear people that look like, when they say woke people, they talking about black people.
They talking about black people. I mean, the gig is up. You know, we already know it. We know who y'all talking about.
Right. I know exactly what you're talking about. Just go on and say Alvin or comment in or whatever you're going to say. But we woke. Now you came up with
the woke community.
Right.
I know who you talking about.
Man, I cannot wait till you do this series. You got to promise me you're going to come back on my podcast so we can talk about
it. Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, man. And please stay in touch, man. Thank you so very much. Tell people about
your TikTok. But I appreciate you having me on, man. Honestly.
About your social media, how they can reach you and all that other stuff.
Oh, yeah. So if you looking for me on TikTok, you can find me under G the Genius. So G is one word. The Genius is one word. So G the Genius on TikTok. Facebook, you can find me under G the Producer. Same concept, G the Producer. On Facebook, Instagram. Those are the only ones I utilize anyway. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. I'm just getting new to Snapchat, but I barely use it. You know, so it's like, G the Genius on TikTok, G the Producer on Facebook and Instagram. Okay. And, you know, I'm an open person, so I don't deny friend requests. I don't do any of that. So as long as I got space and they keep letting me accept friends, hell, I'll take you.